In this video, we will be learning some of the basic things in Python, such as what are variables, tuples, strings, for loops, etc. Let's begin. Hello all, my name is Rahman and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in this video guys, we are going to talk about some of the basic things in Python, such as variables, strings, tuples, what are they, how they work in Python, why they are used, and we will also be talking about one of the most useful thing in Python, that is for loops. For loops are very important in Python. So we will be implementing that with the Python program, and we will be learning that we will learn how to use that. So let's get started. If you remember guys, in the last video we downloaded and installed Python and Visual Studio Code, right? And I wanted to open that IDE, Integrated Development Environment, which is Visual Studio Code. And here we also downloaded some of the extensions. Now as I said you that why we downloaded the extensions, because extensions for Visual Studio Code is a code editor, not just for the Python programming language. It's a code editor for a lot of programming languages such as Java, JavaScript, C++, etc. So for using the Python, we need to install some of the extensions. For using the C++ or C hash, we need to install the C hash or C++ extensions. I'm going to create here a folder. In my folder here, Explorer, and okay, so here if I open that, and here I have already created a folder known as Python 3 basics. Now, sorry, wait. I will be giving here Python 3 basics programming, and you have to create a folder, this one, and I'm going to open that in the Visual Studio Code. How do we do that? After opening that, you have to click here in the Explorer, or you would just press Ctrl Shift E and click on this open folder, and it's going to open a type of small files folder. And after opening, wherever you have created your folder, you have to select that. I have created something called as Python 3 basics programming, so I'm going to select this folder and it's going to open something like this page. Okay, now here this this folder has been opened. As you can see, from the time I was getting the purple line below, right? Now if you pause the video and go back and check that, right now I am getting the blue line. After opening a folder, you will be getting the blue line. Now I'm going to create here a file in the Python. How do we do that? It's pretty simple. After opening here the folder, you have to select here. You have to click on this icon, and you are going to get something called as new file. I'm going to click on that one, and I'm going to type here the basics. Okay, I will type here the basics. Now this is basics. I have created a file. How do we use that? If I write something called as some Python program, it's not going to work here, and the reason is that this is just a text file, so we have to convert this file into a Python file. How do we do that? Right click and rename it. While creating also, you have to just give basics.py, and as you can see, we are getting here the Python logo. Whenever we are not getting here the Python logo, which means that this Python file is not created, and at the end basics.py should be there. That means we are working with the Python file. Now I wanted to explain you a simple, I wanted to show you a simple program, right? So for example, when you write a code, where do you see that? You are going to see that in the terminal. So there will be going to something called as the terminal. Whatever you are going to write here will be showed here in the terminal. Now I wanted to print something called as hello world. Okay, and I'm going to run this Python program. I'm getting hello world. So how do we get this hello world? For getting the hello world in the Python, we have to type here something called as print, and then we have to give it the brackets and then quotation marks and then print hello world. So this is how we print something in Python. Now before going ahead, I wanted to talk about what are the usages of Python programming language. Python is one of the most used language and one of the most powerful language, programming language. So with Python, you can do a million different things, like you can build games, you can build the websites, you can build here the robotics, you can do a lot of stuff. Okay, so you can build an app using the Python. So Python is You can do unlimited things with the Python. And Python is necessary for the machine learning, deep learning programming, and etc. So Python is a very useful programming language that we need to learn in these days. Now this is how we print here the hello world, right? Now what I want to do is I don't want this line. I wanted to use this line later on. I don't want this line in the terminal. What should I do? When I run it, I'm getting hello world. I don't want this one. What I will do, I will be deleting this one, and when I run it, I'm going to get here the empty one. So this is just a one line of code, but you have 10 or thousands of lines of code. What will you do at that time, right? What you have to do is you have to, there will be something called as comment. You can't delete everything and rewrite that, right? So what you can do is in the end, in the starting of this line, I will be giving something called as hashtag. You have to press shift 3 on our keyboard, and it's going to show this in the green color. I have to start that in the starting. And when I print it, when I run it, I'm not going to get anything in the terminal. And the reason is that I have commented this out. So this is going to call it as comment. But when you are building a game or when you are building a large website, then you have written in lots of lines of code, and you want to say that you want to write some of the notes there itself. Like for example, here we have this line print hello world. What I want to do is I want to know that how does this Python programming this line works. So what I will do is I will give this hashtag and just type the this is a simple Python code to print hello world. Okay, so this is a comment. I'm not going to get anything in the terminal, but when I remove this and run it, I'm going to get a lot of errors. As you can see here, I'm getting syntax error. So this is what the comment. But if you have written thousands of lines of code, then you wanted to comment all of them. What you have to do, you will go everywhere, okay, and give here hashtags. No, this is not the way. One more way that I can show is I will removing all of the commands, select all, and give single quotation three times in the starting and in the end. Okay, then it's going to multi-line. So this is also called as multi-line comment. Okay, so here we have this one. So now let's talk about what are variables. Let's create a variable. So I'm going to remove this line. I'm going to remove this line. Now we don't want this one, so I'm going to comment it out. Now let's talk about variables. What are variables? Variable is something, for example, I'm going to create a variable, something called as Python, or I will be giving age. Age is equal to 15. I'm going to just giving it the value of age. Now, for example, let's say that you want to call someone. So there is some name called as Alexander the Great, a big name I have. Okay, what should I do? Will I call him whenever I want to call him? What will I do? I will call him as Alexander, come here, etc. So what I will do is I'm going to call you as XYZ, and you're going to be Alexander, etc. But when I say XYZ, come here, then the person should come here. Like that also, we are going to call that person. We are going to call that variable. So that's what the variables are. So here, what is my age example? Example is 15. Now I can't, whenever I want to use the 15, I can't use something like this one. Right? So I'm going to show you another example. That example is like, I'm going to give here the solar system, or I will give the fruits. Fruits equal to, I'm going to give here the brackets, and then I'm going to give here the quotation marks two times. I'm going to type here the apple, banana, cherry. Okay, so I have these things. Now when I run it, I'm not going to get anything. I'm just saying that fruits means apple, banana, and cherry. But when I want to print that, I'm going to give print fruits. Fruits. Okay, and run it. I'm going to get apple, banana, cherry. What I'm getting? I'm getting them. But I don't want like this. I want to be like this. Like this, and here like this. I'm going to get here the errors because I have to give them in the quotation marks. So quotation marks, I will be talking about this later on, but quotation marks are very, very useful in Python. Now this is how we create the variable. So these are the content of the variable. Apple, banana, cherry, and fruits is a variable. Now if I remove here the brackets, let's see how the output that I am going to get. I know that how I am going to get, but I want to show you guys. Let's run it, and we are getting that same thing, right? So I will be talking about this after some time. Now let's go some more below. So I'm going to comment out this one. Okay. So I'm going to multi-line comment because I have written these two lines, right? And three times quotation marks, and it's going to work like this. Now, what are variables? We know variables, how to create them, etc. But for variables also, there are some of the rules that we need to follow. For example, I have here something fruits. Okay, fruits. And I can't start a variable with a number. For example, I'm going to give here 12 or 12 fruits is equal to apple. I'm going to get here the error 12. We can't start a variable with a number, but we can run it with a number. Run it. Sorry, I have to give here the 1 2. Run it again. We are getting apple, banana, cherry. But we can also use them in the middle. Let's use here the 12 and wait, type it, and I'm going to run it. I'm going not going to get errors. Okay, so there are some of the rules that we need to follow here in the Python. Now I can't start a variable with a number after giving it the quotation marks also. It's not going to work. Okay, here we are going to get here the errors. That's why there are some of the rules that we need to follow in the Python. So this is how variables are going to work. Now let's talk about the strings. Okay. Now before talking about strings, I want to talk about the difference between why do we use here the quotation marks. Now before talking about this quotation marks, I want to talk about strings. And the reason is that strings means something we give in the quotation marks in Python is called as strings. Whether we are giving the numbers, whether we are giving any symbols, or whether we are giving any alphabets, then it's called as strings. For example, I will be giving here something called as xyz equal to, or I will be giving name equal to, I will be giving them in the quotation marks, will be giving my name, and I'm going to run it, print name, run it. I'm going to get here the Rahman. But what I have done, I have given them in quotation marks. If I remove it, I'm going to get here the errors. We can also use here the double quotation marks like this. And I'm not going to get errors right now. I'm just going to print Abdul Rahman. Now, when I run this fruits, I'm getting apple, banana in the brackets. But when I run this, I'm just getting Abdul Rahman. And the reason is that I'm just running one character, one string. I'm not running more than one string. That's why we are getting like that. So we know what are strings. If I give here something as 12, 1 to 3, okay, and run it. But I'm getting 1 to 3. I'm getting. But here, if I give 1 2 3 x y z, run it, I'm going to get 1 2 3 x y z. But if I give here, just remove everything, 1 2 3 2 3 and run it, I'm going to get here the 1 2 3. But what's the difference in between using the 1 2 3 in the quotation marks and using them without the quotation marks? It's very simple. We can't use here the alphabets. Exactly. X y z running, and we are going to get here error because we have not given them in the quotation marks. Numbers can be used without the quotation marks in the Python, but alphabets cannot be used or symbols cannot be used without the quotation marks in the Python. So this is how strings are going to work. So let's multi-line comment this one. Now we know that what are strings and what are variables. Now let's talk about some of the lists. Okay, so list in Python, a list is a collection of ordered mutable objects. Lists are used to store the data that can be changed, added, or removed after the list is created. Lists are created using square brackets, and elements are separated by the commas. For example, if I show you here, I'm going to give it my list. Okay. which is going to be equal to, I'm going to give 1 to 3 hello, etc. 1, 1 to 3, and then hello. I can print it. You can run it. What I'm getting? I'm not getting anything because I'm just saying that list means this one. If I print my list and run it, I'm going to get hello 1 to 3 hello as I'm giving the same. But if I give them here like this, the parenthesis, what I will get, I'm getting here like this. Okay, what's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference between lists and tuples? Lists can be changed whenever we want. For example, I will be giving like this, the square brackets, here also square brackets. In the brackets, print my list, what I will do is, I will be giving 1, or I will give is 4. 4. I will be giving this one and run it. I will be getting error list index out of range. What happens here is, what I'm doing is, I'm just saying that I have something called as list. I have my list 1 to 3 hello. I'm just printing that list. But from that list, I want just to print just a string or a number. Now I don't want to print here the fourth number. The thing that I'm printing here is the fourth letter, fourth character of this list. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth. But why am I getting errors? And the reason is that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In Python, indexing is going to start from the 0. And here I have given here the 4. If I give here the 3 and run it, I'm going to get hello. If you see, I'm going to get hello, right? So this is how it's going to work. If I give here the 0, run it, I'm going to get here the 1. It's not like just because of numbers. Whatever we give in the list, we can call them. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. If we have having the more things in this list, then it's going on. Okay, so it's going to start from 0, not from the 1. So this is how lists are going to work. But let's try this with this parenthesis without the square parenthesis. Okay, my list, I'm going to give here the 0 and run it. Sorry, wait. Run it and let's check we are getting here. Yeah, this is how we are also going to work. Okay, now one more thing that we can do here is, I want to show some of the things. I will be removing these brackets. I will be giving just 1, and then I'm going to give here the colon, and I'm just giving here the 3. What does this mean? This means that the I want the first character, I want the second character of this list, which is going to be the first according to the Python. Okay, so I want the first character of this one, second character of this list, and the last character. So what I will do, I will give 1 colon 3. Okay, I'm going to run it. I'm getting 2 comma 3, which is 1. This is the 1, which is 0, this is 0, this is 1. Okay, and this is 3. Sorry, this is 1, 2. So this is going to be 1, this is going to be 3, right? So this is how it's going to work. But let's remove this one. Just give it as the 0. So I'm going to multi-line comment this one also like this. So this is how it's going to work. So these are some of the basics. Now let's talk about the tuples. What are they? Now in Python, a tuple is a ordered, immutable collection of objects. Immutable means changeable. Okay, so tuples are similar to lists, but once they are created, the elements of tuple cannot be changed. Sorry, immutable means cannot be changed. Okay, lists we can change there. Okay, tuples are often used to related pieces of the information such as the x and y coordinates of a point, so that they will be used in the matplotlib. We'll be talking about those in the intermediate Python, etc. there. Now, for example, again, I'm going to create something. Copy this, paste it. Sorry, this one. Okay, run it. But let's print it also. Print my list. Sorry, my list. Brackets and run it. What we are getting like this. So instead of this one, I will be giving my. So this is not just because of the name of the variable. This is because whatever we are giving, we should give there. Okay. Now let's run it and let's check with what is the output. 1, 2, 3, hello. Now what's the difference between lists and the tuples? Lists are changeable and tuples are inchangeable, immutable, which means that it cannot be changed. Now we know how this works. Now let's talk about the for loops. What are for loops? For loops is one of the most important concepts in Python, which is used for iterating something into Python. For example, I'm going to create a variable called as numbers equal to, I'm going to give them as the list. Okay, and I'm going to give them till the 10. Okay, then what I will do is for this is a function in Python for numbers. Sorry, for num in numbers, I'm going to give num in numbers. Okay, I'm saying this one. Now, what is this one? Numbers is a variable. We know what is for loop. Now, for num means there is no variable called num, but we are creating that using the for loop. So there should be another thing called as num, and in that one we are going to store something called as numbers. We are saying it to the Python, and then we are saying print num and run it. When I run it, I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry, wait. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The reason is that, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, what's the difference? Why can't we print here like that also? Like, we can just remove here this one. And I will multi-line comment this one also. Why can't we just print here like this? Print numbers. This numbers and run it. What's the output? We are going to get them in the list format. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are getting, but we don't want like that. We want for loop. So for loop is going to repeat, iterate it each and over time. So this is what the concept of the for loops. If I run it again, save it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am getting below each line, right? So this is how for loops are going to work in Python. Now don't miss this. For loops concept is very much important. So this is just a basics series, right? In the series of intermediate, I will be talking about these things more. And so anyhow guys, that's all for this video, and I hope you liked this video and enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you all in another tutorial. Thanks for watching and goodbye.